Hi, welcome to the Forecasting for Success podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brie. I'm a doctor of psychology, financial educator, astrologer, and founder of Forecasting for Success, a community of people improving their financial literacy to achieve financial independence. I blend my expertise as a former professor and financial intelligence analyst with the tool of astrology to help break down why you are struggling with specific money habits and the best way to form more intentional responses and choices when it comes to money, especially to help you feel more secure in your financial decisions and improve your money skills for building long-term wealth. Hello, welcome back to the Forecasting for Success podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Today's episode is a bit different. Today, I'm speaking with psychologist Alina Stoian, who has a powerful personal story and unique expertise that combines intercultural psychology and how money can show up differently across cultures. I do want to mention a content warning that today's episode includes the topics of a partner suddenly passing away and pregnancy loss. So if either topic is sensitive for you presently, I understand if you need to skip this episode, and I hope to see you back here next week. If you're doing well though otherwise and can stick around for this episode, I'm excited for you to hear what Alina has to share, which includes actionable advice for how you think about money specific to your own cultural context and messaging. And I encourage you to share this episode with your close family and friends who can also benefit from what Alina shares. Okay, with that, let's get started. Hello and welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're doing things a little bit differently. What we have is an expert here, and her name is Alina Stoian, and she's going to be talking about some incredible things, and I'm very excited for this episode. So welcome and thank you for being here.
I'm very honored to be here. Thank you for the invitation, and big hi to everybody that is listening to us. Like I always say in my video journal, I have a video journal, but I will tell you about my stuff. I always say, hello, people from all over the world. So here I am saying again, hello, people from all over the world, because yes, today I'm very honored that you wanted to reach the topic about intercultural, about our actually relationship with money, how we see money in different cultures, and what actually we can do to change or to rewrite our ideas or our limitative beliefs about money. Because we want it or not, every culture has some limited and limitative beliefs, not only about money, about a lot of stuff. But now we are trying to talk about money, and not only that, about how the energy, actually, the frequencies influence our life, either professional or personally. So I'm very, very happy to be here and sharing what I've learned from experience, professionally and personally. So yes, let's begin.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I found your expertise very incredible, this intersection of you being an intercultural psychologist, a communication strategist, but
Yeah.
also having this amazing expertise on how money and finance affects cultures differently, both us as individuals and how we interact with our respective cultures. So, in order to help introduce you to the audience, would you please mind sharing your expertise and just how you naturally grew into this very unique and very necessary expert area?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for this actually generous stage that you are showing me. Yes, my journey, well, it started a long, long time ago, but it was never a clear plan. It was maybe more like a calling, because we are talking a lot in this podcast. We will talk a lot about energy, cultural DNA. So for me also, it started like a calling. And I've always been passionate about advertising, therefore about communication. And I started this journey for communication and strategy, because this is what I love to do, strategy, not only the power of words, but how, when, and why should we place these words to have the right power. So I always did communication and strategy, both for commercial companies and brands, but also, which is more like for my soul, the personal brand, because it's actually even easier to sell. Either we are entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, or we are working in a company. It's easier to sell our expertise when we have a personal brand. Actually, it's our reputational image. So this is why I'm actually more preoccupied about this. But it was never only about storytelling or marketing plans or tactics. It was something beyond me. I don't even know now, actually, how do I have the ability to read people's mind? And when I say read people's mind, I actually can place myself in their shoes, like we are saying, and understand. I know that the experience of creating advertising campaigns made me also be able to do this, because it's not easy to understand why a client should buy your product. So I had this practice. But I felt it was more than this. Maybe it's a calling. I don't know. Maybe it's just I was born like this, or this is the way I have to be in this world. But I wanted to understand more. And this is why actually I wanted to understand what's beneath the consumer actually behavior, and to understand the emotions behind their actions and what drive people. Maybe it also comes from my empathy, because I'm very empathetic. This helps me doing the therapy, because this is how I get actually to learn psychology. Naturally, I already did it because I told you, but I didn't have structure. So the first time I wanted to learn psychology was because I wanted to put some structure, some form to the formless, to what I've already knew, like naturally. So this is where it entered to my life, the psychology. I didn't know that back then it was supposed to be also part of my mission. And after I entered the university, my second actual university, the psychology, something happened in my life that actually just broke me into pieces. I lost my boyfriend in a tragical rally accident 4 years ago. But it was a few months after I already entered the psychology. And back then, actually, I understood that psychology may not be only for me to understand the forms, but can be also part of my way of helping others, of understanding what are they going through, and to understand how can they overpass grief, why not, to find their spiritual lifeline, to empower them to be better, but not in that superficial way of, I want to find my better self. No, deeply rooted in our true self, because we are here actually to experiment in this existence. So this is what we are trying to do. And for me then, psychology turned to therapy, and now I'm an integrative therapist, also specialized in intercultural, and I will tell you why. Because life gave me, unfortunately for myself, but maybe fortunate for others, a lot of lessons. One of my teachers, now I'm reminding of him, he said, well, Alina, I don't know why things happen to you, because there are a lot. And I will tell you, just to name them up, I lost another boyfriend after the one in the same tragical car accident. Then I had, of course, grieving. And then I thought I found my love, and I got into a very toxic relationship. It was with love, but also with sufferance. And because I wanted to save the others that I couldn't, in my mind, I tried to save him, and I've lost almost an apartment here in Bucharest helping him. I don't know if I will get them back. About money. We're talking about money.
Yeah.
So for me, it was the belief that I would help somebody, and I lost actually that money. I had a miscarriage for a child that I wanted so badly. So I had a lot of lessons, a lot. And my teacher said, I don't know why do you have to pass through all these lessons, but for sure, there will be nobody in your couch, your therapy couch, that you didn't already experience part of his problem. That made me, okay, not feel better, but understand that maybe this is my mission. And I accepted my mission. And once we accept our mission, it becomes a bit easier to path it. So therapy became for me not only a way of survival, but as I said, a way to work with identity of others and of course of myself, because this journey never ends. Learning never ends. So I am here in this journey, but because I'm at another stage, I would like people from my experience to learn, to inspire, to motivate themselves. And I'm not saying about that part that, okay, she did so worse in her life, so she had so many traumas, I'm okay. No, I want everybody to understand that each experience for each of us, it's traumatic and it's his reality or her reality, and it's the worst it can happen for him or her. You don't need to compare to others to solve your problem. This is actually just hiding your problems. It's the same thing with money. But I have enough money because look, the others are poor. Right, they are poor, but they're their reality. Your reality is this. And we are trying to deal with your reality. In therapy, you have to deal with the reality of the client, no matter what that reality is. So this is how life got me in this combination of strategy and therapy, but it also gave me a blessing, the things that I'm living today now. And this is how I got into the intercultural, because even though my last relationship, that toxic, really toxic one, was the Cuban, so still latent, but a different type of Latino. So I've experienced a lot of intercultural ideas, but now my partner is it's Mexican, so more kind. They are more open and more respectful to women. So I am blessed that I have this relationship in my life. And actually, it helped me because we are living in both worlds, Romania and Mexico, to understand from the root of things how is the culture. Okay, so when I will start talking about also about the connection with money, I will never tell only from the theory. I will tell them the way I'm living them. So maybe it was written in the stars for me, like we said about astrology, written in the stars for me to have this path. It was not an easy path, and I'm still missing my boyfriend, but I know he's guiding me from above. I prefer to see things like this because it gives you trauma. It's true. And I'm doing therapy myself. And I'm sharing this not because I want to be victimized or to feel sorry for me, just to understand that this kind of journey is not easy. Whatever I will tell you in this podcast, I will not tell you like, okay, if you do start this from today, tomorrow you'll be fine. These are lies. I'm not sharing this kind of things. I will not mislead none of your followers, my followers, nobody in my part of the world in Romania, and hopefully very soon in Mexico as well. They will know me because in here they know me, to put the cards on the table very upfront, with respect, of course, with invitation to dialogue, but they're upfront. I'm not saying things only because they are nice. If they're not nice, I will share them, because only through the truth we can learn and we can grow and we can evolve. So this in a nutshell, because this is actually a nutshell, it's part of my journey, but more professionally, let's say, this is my personal story that guided me to have this combination of expertise, let's say. Professionally, I said I have for 20 years an advertising communication agency. all the time I worked only with passion. I created company brands, I created communication campaigns, but also social campaigns. And I love doing social campaigns because this is where we can thrive into changing mentalities. So it's part of my job of doing this. I said, do therapy, and I have clients also from Romania, from UK. So I understand also a lot of cultures, and I'm specialized in the expats in Mexico, because that's a different story. How do you live between two cultures? And it's not easy, it's hard. Um, and I have this opportunity of having all this experience. I've also been for 7 years now, but I let it go because living between two continents is not that it's time consuming, so it's not that easy. I've been for almost 7 years a vice president in Professional Women Network, which is a global network in supporting women in leadership. So I know a bit about how to empower and to support women that want to strive in leadership. It was a bless of a period for me where I recreated strategies for the association. It was an NGO, so it was not money paid. But maybe this is my belief about money, right? You have to overgive, but never overcharge. So we will talk about this. So in a nutshell, this is my professional experience and personal story that got me here.
That's a very powerful story. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate it. I am sorry for your losses. That's a lot of loss to have to go through and deal with. But you're right
True.
that it definitely builds and empowers you to not only have empathy for yourself and your own personal journey, but also empathy with others, like you said, because it gives you this more humanity-based experience that transcends culture and transcends language in order for you to help a lot of different type of people. And I can understand why what you have to offer is so powerful in so many different places. So thank you. And I do
Yes,
find it
thank you.
fascinating that you have these two, like we mentioned, these two very distinct professions and areas of expertise of being a psychologist and also a communication strategist, because it really speaks to you understanding the power of words. It really speaks to you understanding the power of language and communication and how that really can take away our own power or elevate our own power in
Mhm.
order to understand what words can do for us internally and externally. So I
True.
do I do find this whole baseline of language and communication just so fascinating with your areas of expertise and the work that you're doing in the world.
Thank you. Yeah, I do believe in the power of the word in the world. And I always say the word was first. Either we are believers or not, the word was first because it came from the divine love. So somehow, even if it was in the mind of the creator, it was the word that actually got us here and made us evolve. So it all came from just one thought to a word. And this is why I believe that the power of word can be healing, but it also can be a weapon. And I said before that I have this mission of empower people to find their true self and to thrive and to understand their own mission. Either I do that in therapy or I do it in personal branding. I always try to find this, to find their true self, to be able to share their image in the world, not a false image. I have a saying when I have courses in personal branding. Personal branding is not about looking good in the photos. It's actually be aligned with your true self, and then you can put the expertise you have on the table. So, it can also be a weapon. This is what I was saying, and we have to be very, very careful how we use it. We
Yes.
can
Hmm.
even in personal branding is one thing, but in therapy, and I'm saying this because maybe fellow colleagues from all over the world will watch this podcast, and I'm sure that they will share my ethic, moral insight. Uh, we are like surgeons, brain surgeons, but only with words, not with a scalpel. So it's the same importance in choosing our instrument not to become a weapon that can kill somebody. Because some of the people that come in therapy, right, they are at the limit of their wanting to live this life longer or not. So the way you choose your words, therapy is actually the art of putting questions. Putting the right question can help somebody. Putting the wrong question unintentionally, maybe. So this is why you have to be more responsible how you learn to put questions can make a big difference. So yes, I do believe in the power of words.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with everything because it's incredible how we can create our own realities. So, like you're saying, our thoughts and what we put out into the world, this can create our version of reality that we want, which is why it's important to be mindful and intentional as much as we can with living in the present and just understand what we're doing now has effects for our own personal futures. And so you want to try to set yourself up for success, not only now, but with those second and third order effects.
True.
If you don't mind, would you like to go ahead and start sharing your experiences or insights about how money does influence your clients or how you're able to help people in this
Mhm.
topic whenever it comes to intercultural aspects?
Yeah, for that, thank you. It's a very hands-on question. Before that, I would like to share that in my because okay, I have two line of duty, let's say, that maybe not all the time be very concerned about money, and I want to say that it is. Even though I'm actually working in personal branding, let's say the part of strategy with personal branding, the money part comes up all the time. And it's normal to be like that because I said mostly when we are working with solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and money is their payment, like in the other jobs too. But that is more specific. That it's more safe. You now you have your money at the end of the month. So this is why I'm not entering there, even though I work with the executives and C-level as well. But maybe their money are not the issue because they already have the security of it. So money comes up in personal branding when we do the strategy a lot in these experts that are working maybe alone, because when we start doing and building up the strategy, we are not having also only a conversation about mission vision that are very important, and this is where I always start because you need to know who you are inside, your true self, your authentic self. But then we go to the strategy, the more specific parts, the objective, the value, the positioning, and that comes to pricing and monetization. So yes, money do come a lot in this job that I have, but it also comes up in the therapy part in a different way. In their beliefs that we are just sharing in a moment, the more rooted in the emotional part, in the cultural DNA, in the cosmic energy. So money actually comes up because we live in this material world. Like Madonna said, but not in that way too, in different cultures, not in all of the cultures, but yes, in some cultures, we are living in a material world. But when I say material world, it's like this existence here and now, it's material. Yeah. We need a place to live. We are eating stuff that are material. So this is the translation of the material world that I will maybe sometimes suggest here. So in therapy, this money comes up, this idea of the money. Why don't I have enough? Don't I work enough? What I discovered was actually that it's not the money problem, it's the self-worth problem.
Mm.
So when we talk about money, actually, and we go deeply in the therapy, in the psychology, we understand that these money issues come from worth issue mostly. it's not only that, that's true. It also can be some more transgenerational stuff. And if you want, I can share about this part as well, how deeply it can go back in our existence, even if we believe it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be great. Because you're right. It's a spectrum as to how conscious someone might be as to whether or not they're holding themselves back. So yeah, please share.
Yes, because when we talk psychotherapy, we have to understand that we are more than this existence, as I said. We have ancestors, yeah. So this actually goes to the transgenerational issues that we might inherit. We also can go to regression, so other past lives, even if we believe that or not, that we lived before, that we will live afterwards, we need to understand that we are matter just now, here and now. In the rest of the time, in the rest of the existence, we are energy. So energy has a blueprint that generates our decision every time we are in a matter world. So this is why it's important to understand that when we talk about money, we have to talk also about the inheritance that we have, our DNA. And to sum it up, when we talk about transgenerational, we talk about the cultural DNA, right? Because we come from the same line of parents, grandparents, and so on and so forth. So this is the cultural inheritance that we have. What is the best news that I can give is that this DNA, our DNA actually can change. We have something that it's called, and it's discovered for, I don't know, 50, 70 years now, which is called epigenetics. Epigenetics, as you know, it's something that changed the perspective about our genes, that we have these genes, so that we cannot change anything because we inherited this genetically. Well, we have 5 genes, 2 cannot be changed, but the other 3 are actually influenced by where we grew up, where we lived, so our culture, and this we can change. So when we go now in the idea of money in each culture, we have to understand that actually, yes, we can change things. So this is why it is important to understand and to have this 360 degrees perspective of things, not because I've learned it, but because this is the way we can actually rewrite, reprogram our mind. So,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. It's fascinating, but it's also should be very hopeful. That should give people hope when they hear something like that, because it really speaks to this area of trauma of money that should be a focus for most of us, just to understand that although we might have had very troubling pasts or incidents in the past that were either big T or little t traumas, it is okay to learn how to do better for yourself, that you can overcome these very difficult or challenging past circumstances, to not either hold yourself back in some way or to just understand that you have more opportunities to do better for yourself, and that it is okay to be comfortable. It is okay to learn how to be happy with your new personal values and other things that you can bring to the table, and not have to be stuck in whatever has occurred to you. That doesn't have to be where you're stuck for the rest of your life. It is possible to have this regenerating in this new present day if you're able to do that for yourself.
yes, we are able to do that for ourselves. But as I said at the beginning, we need to understand that some of these issues, if they are on the inheritage part, the transgenerational, or more in the regression part of ourselves, we will not change it today, now, together. We
Hmm.
can start now, but
Hmm.
some of them needs therapy. Some of them, meaning the problems, need therapy, because we need to go back to the root, back to the root. We might say that, okay, I cannot gain enough money because I live in a very competitive world and I'm not good enough. When a therapist hears this, I'm not good enough. Wait, stop. Okay. When in your childhood somebody told you you are not good enough? Well, nobody. Okay, but what did your mother said when you got a lower grade? See the other that got A or 10 here in Romania, it's like from 1 to 10. Yeah, I do. Why don't you do that? This is actually telling you I'm not good enough. So this is why it needs more time to decodify the root of the problem, to go to the root of the problem. This doesn't mean that we need to work like 2, 3 years for this matter, but it's not changing overnight. So this is what it's like a disclaimer I want to say because it's a true one. And I've came across these perceptions working with incredible entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, it doesn't matter. They had like brilliant ideas of their new business. They had powerful voices, they could be heard, but they all the time had the difficulty of charging. They undercharge. And this actually means when you are hard to put value on your work, you say, yeah, well, but if will they pay? No, it's not about who will pay. Somebody will pay for your services. It's about why don't you believe that you're worth that much? And when I'm saying this, I'm not saying from the position that I'm a millionaire and I can just look down and tell you this. I'm living this also. And I struggle, maybe not daily now, because I understand the process, but understanding and living the process does not mean that I solved the process. And I will share you a personal story that happened actually very recently in my last therapy session, because I said, as a therapist, I need to do therapy all the time. So yay,
Yeah.
I'm a good client for my colleagues. But this is how it works, because if you don't do that, you will charge yourself with a lot of other emotions and you need to ventilate them. So that's fine. But I'm still working on my issues. And one of my issues was because I told you I've already lost a big chunk of money. And I said, why? Why? And my therapist was like looking at me and she said, yeah, but what's your relationship with money? And it's funny that I had this therapy a few weeks ago and now we're talking about money. Wow, that's how the universe actually works. So thank you to my therapist. And she made me think about it. And I said, yeah, but I pay for my, I pay for my mistakes, thinking about my last toxic relationship. And she just said like this, are you sure you pay for your mistakes? And I'm sharing this because this kind of questions that we can put in therapy or to ourselves can change the perspective. And I said, I didn't say actually anything. An image came to my face because this is how mind works. This is why we are interconnected to this field of energy that I said before, that we are all the time energy, less matter, but more energy. And we are connected to the field of energy, to the universe. Either we believe it or not. When we have this strike of information, we don't know from where, well, they are from this source of universal energy that it's a cycle. So I came to this image in my head with my mother. Hopefully she will not watch this podcast. And a lot of a male figure, but it was very shadowed, and a lot of other shadows behind. And I needed to decipher this, and I understood that I'm actually paying, I don't know for what kind of debts, from my transgenerational line from my mother. And I will go there and I will discover what happens, right? But for the moment, my therapist said, and what are you going to do about this? Are you going to pay more? And I said, you know what's funny? Exactly what's funny? That my mother now, it's helping me when I struggle with money, paying all the debts that I had from the last years. She's helping me. And she said, well, but it's not funny at all. It's her debt to pay, actually. it's paying it through you, but it's her part of the debt she pays. And she said, what are you going to do about this debt? Is it yours? And I felt it. No, it's not mine. And when I say I felt it, you can put your hand here and just listen to your body as well, because your body tells you things. And I said, no, it's not my duty to pay this. And I said, I don't want to pay anymore. This struggle that I inherited, it's not mine. And I don't want to pursue with this. So this is how we begin to rewrite actually programs. So being said, my personal story that was, wow, really funny that we're talking about money. I will now go through, I said, 3 types of cultural understanding about money. What type of transgenerational belief they have in this kind of culture, and after that, what can we tell ourselves to rewrite this? And if we have time, you will tell me the time. When I have my podcast, I keep the time for my guests. So I hope you do that now, and you just shut me down, and I will go home, and that's it.
No, this is fascinating. And these are very powerful stories. I love hearing about your life and your experiences. So just keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah. Just wait in line when I will have the book, and then I will sign it for you.
These are powerful. I love hearing your stories. Please
Thank you
continue.
very much. People, and now I'm not trying not to be modest. Neither. I was already started to speak Latino. This is why I said ni because it's a combination. So sorry. People tell me you have powerful stories, and maybe sometimes I don't believe that. Because about ourselves, we have the tendency not to believe that we are great, and this is wrong. If people from outside your circle tells you that you are great, or your stories are powerful, whatever your audience hear, just believe them. They will not tell them for free. They will not tell it for gain something. They will tell it for free.
Mm-hmm.
So just believe that when somebody tells you that. So this is why I said that. And I'm just shutting them down because I don't feel very comfortable when they tell me that, yeah, wait for the book. And then a lot of them say, but when's the book? Because it's gonna be a bestseller. And then maybe I will write the book. So
Yeah, please.
yes, we do have a very strange relationship with our self-worth, because maybe sometimes we were not taught how to understand that we worth. And I think this is in many cultures, not only in the Eastern Europe. But we will start with this because I'm born and raised in Romania, and for the people who might not know our history, it's a post-communist country, right? But I had only 9 years in communism, so I got some of the fear back then, not a lot, but my parents, my grandparents, right? They had this inherited, so it's still powerful. Maybe it will be a few generations more to get rid of our cultural inheritance. But here in Romania, some of the problems, let's say, that we have when we go to money issues is that we were raised in scarcity, in fear, in obedience. And this is actually rooted also in our money issues. Some of our common sayings, when we have, because we have a lot of sayings and every culture have, but about money, we have like this. Money only comes through hard struggle or hard work. We hear this all the time here in Romania, and I'm in Eastern Europe as well, because in the Balkans we hear more or less the same. Asking for money is shameful. So don't ask for much money because it's shameful. Money is the devil's eye. Better poor and honest than rich and maybe corrupt or something. Or if you have money, people will envy you. All of these sayings in our culture leaves a blueprint in our energy body, and then in our actions as well, in the relationship with money. So this actually has psychological implications, right? Because, for example, let's take only two of that. For example, the belief of money only comes with hard struggle or hard work. This actually creates in subconscious the resistance to work easily. Maybe we work easy or we can find an easy job, but okay, but it's not correct, right? Because I need to gain money just by working hard. This is honest money when I work hard. So this is how it imprints in your mind that you need to work hard if you want to get money.
Yeah,
And then
it implies a mandatory suffering, that you must have some
exactly.
type of suffering. And it's unfortunate that people may misunderstand the origin of some of these sayings because it was about control. It was a type of propaganda. It's not true. Just because it's a saying doesn't mean it's true and that you have to suffer. So you're right.
Exactly.
If those threads are
Exactly.
lost, there's a misunderstanding and it negatively impacts people today. Even though the culture and the system might have changed a little bit, people might misunderstand.
Yes, because we inherited this in a subconscious way, and actually our subconscious is the one that takes decision, not the
Mhm.
conscious one.
Mhm.
So yes, it affects us a lot, and it affects us in the way that if we find something that comes easy and gives you joy, we may sabotage it because without understanding, we go back to where our mind understands the familiarity of it. So this is why it's not easy to change it overnight
Mhm.
because it's rooted a bit more powerful than we think it is. But it's also a good thing that when we realize that we are conducted by this kind of beliefs, limitative beliefs, we can change them. Because the
Mhm.
first step is to be aware of that, to accept that we want to change, to make steps in changing it, and then to progress in this until and repeat it until our mind will understand, oh, I have a new program. I will work on this program, not on the other one. And the other good news is that we have more success in our children, grandchildren, and so on and so forth to inherit our new program. So we are not doing this only for ourselves. We will do that for the other generations as well.
Mhm. Exactly. Teach them a new system, a better system.
Yes. Another belief that I said, another saying was this: ask for money is shameful, right? What does this do now in the present, for example, for entrepreneurs or professional? As I said, they even though they want to charge, I don't know, the hours, they are very the hours like their real economical value, they cannot do that. They feel ashamed. They feel fear that nobody will accept that. So
It's also a very isolating belief. It causes
true.
you to not reach out for help because help doesn't always have to cost money. Like what you were saying, it's the sharing of language, it's the sharing of ideas and
Mhm.
communicating that doesn't have to cost money. And so if people isolate themselves, it can hold them back in ways that they may not even realize. That you're right, it does affect their finances because it would limit their sales and things like this. But just to be isolated in and of itself is also negative.
Yes, because we this kind of saying, now that I'm going back through my process of, okay, I'm ashamed to say I need money. That means actually that I'm not good enough to do anything. I cannot solve my own problems. And we have another saying here in Romania: what will the world say about you?
Mm.
So if you are not dealing with your own stuff, what would the world say about you? And now that I'm telling you this, we have another saying. They are not directly related to money, but see how they can be related to money because they are actually in a chain. We have this, let me translate it. You don't wash your laundry in public.
Yes.
So if I have problems, I cannot reach out to my friends, to my family to help because the public don't need to understand that I have problems now. So small sayings, they are actually very powerful and affect our
Absolutely.
relationship with money. So
Absolutely.
we will rewrite this. I will just cross also through the Latin and the US UK culture beliefs, and then we will understand a bit how can we start rewriting this kind of programs. So because I live also, as I said, in Latin America, in Mexico, but they have the same, more or less the same beliefs because they do have the same cultural background with differences in countries, but the same background. So their money story is a bit different because they have different beliefs. They have also, if they are very Catholic traditional, because in the Latin America they are Catholic, and we are not talking about religion now, so don't throw anything into me. But religion also it's part of our culture and heritage. This is why I'm bringing it up. So they have like sayings like money is not spiritual, right? It actually looks like our Romanian one, money are devil's eyes. It's more or less the same. So because it's not spiritual, for them, money is often seen as being in a conflict with the purity of life. So this gives them actually, they think, a less connection with God because accumulating wealth can feel like a betrayal to their humbleness, to their belief. It's not like that, but this is how they translate it. Or they have another one. Being ambitious is selfish because, they are very oriented to the group. They are not selfish individuals. They think about the good of the group first. So if you are too ambitious and then you thrive more than others, then you are selfish. This is how they will translate, unconsciously they will translate this. So this is also you find this more in women than in men because they have a culture of admiring women and respecting women because they do believe in Virgin Mary. But up to a point, okay, in the family part, it's noble to share and to sacrifice yourself, so not being ambitious. You see how they are connected one with the other. So this is actually connected with their belief about money. Not being ambitious, then you don't get rich enough money. So,
I
and they
think
also have, tell me.
Yeah, I think you bring up a really good point. And there's multiple religions that do this to where they misconstrue what money is and what it can do for you, because money by itself is just a tool. It's not a belief system, it's not a religion, it's just a tool. And it's up to the person, regardless of their religious background, it's up to the person as to whether or not they want to put it towards a positive or negative use. So it's the human choice as to how you use this tool of money as to whether or not you're doing good for yourself and or others. And you're right that this messaging of money being misconstrued as something more than a tool or something different from a tool, it is leveraged against women in a different way than it is against men. And that's another way that it can impact and hold back women entrepreneurs if they're not understanding where this belief comes from or why their messaging about money might be a little different versus a man who received message about money.
If we go now, because you raised it up for me, and I have this idea going, but this is for all the cultures, the difference between women and men now. So it's an intercultural same thing. But going to the anthropology, men have had this role to be the provider, and we are talking from the cavemen until now, right? Not in the modern society where everything changed, but this kind of DNA, it's in our system. we want it or not, it's still there. So their role was this, to provide. Okay, first they were providing because they went to hunting, right? But then they provide because they gain money. The women was supposed to stay back home with the children to take care of the tribe, not to
It,
gain money, right?
yeah, it's the story that they've tried to get us to believe
This
that
is
this
what,
would be the natural order. Yeah.
yes.
Thankfully, we're
So
starting to break down that narrative.
yeah, but imagine we are trying to break down a narrative that is million years in our system. So I'm not saying that was correct or not. It was biological, built better, whatever. I don't believe in the difference. I believe in putting the difference together to construct things together, to build things together. But this is how the mentality remained more or less the same. Okay, the women will gain less because actually her role is to stay still at home to take care of the tribe. And it's not like that, not anymore for million others of hours and days.
Right,
But
right.
we still have this in our system, and we need to change that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Getting back to the Latins, they also have some other sayings like exactly what I said, taking care of the family comes first. So that put the women in the second position of gaining money. And without being lack of respect, the women actually like this. I'm seeing this in my extended family, in the families of my friends. God forbid that they got divorced because she's not working at all. She will expect to gain the money the man provides for its children, for his children, and she thinks it's their own money. So taking care of the family first, look how deeply now it's also in the present. So it's not also from the past. So they do have these beliefs. If we go to the more Western culture, like I said, US, UK, Northern Europe, so this part of cultures, the relationship with money is a bit different. Here, we have some other dominant messages, and now you can correct me if I'm wrong. You can translate this kind of beliefs in sayings like "you are what you achieve." You need to achieve more to be somebody. Your name, your person values more if you gain more or if you reach out a better position in work. So this is why we see, I think, a lot of Americans not happy, and Germans as well, and also this part of Western Europe performing, but they go to burnout as well because they need to perform, they need to perform, they need to perform. They take less vacations than others. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just translating the relationship with the cultural relationship with the money. Because when you say you are what you achieve, actually you're translating psychologically that your self-worth is tied directly to your performance.
Hmm.
The money that you do, the material part that you do, is actually more that you're worth as a person. Of course, here's as well, we decodify this too, but we are saying about the majority, the way the people still believe. So if you don't actually perform, you are almost invisible. This is how you translate this kind of saying. Another saying, if we put it in a saying, it's success means independence. You are a successful person, therefore you have freedom, you are independent, right?
Hmm.
We do have this. This ideal is to make it alone, not in a group, right? I need to thrive. I need to be independent. So actually, what translates is that your value is only through measurable outcomes. I have an outcome, therefore came the KPIs,
Yeah.
right? We have KPIs. We need to have, of course, we need to have them, but we need to understand them with balance, not only this, right? These kind of beliefs, actually, the high performance, the high functional professionals that are amazing for the world, but they also struggle with the burnout more rapidly than others. That's for sure.
Mhm.
They get to believe that perfectionism is the only way they can do things, and they strive and they struggle actually to be the best in their industry, and they fear to slow down the rhythm, because
Mhm.
slowing down the rhythm or resting or having a vacation feels like failure, and they don't want to fail,
Right.
right? Because failing means you are weak, and they cannot be weak. So this is how you translate the relationship with money, also in this kind of a very productive, very performance oriented cultures, because money is always better than anything else. Money can buy anything, right?
Mhm.
We do say that. So as a small conclusion, actually, across all cultures, if we see, money is never neutral, right? It has a meaning for
Mhm.
each cultural different, but it actually reflects our beliefs, our individual beliefs, our inherited beliefs, our fears. But we need to understand that this is not the way we can define actually the world. We can change this narrative and gain freedom and integrity and self-worth not only through money. And
Mhm.
guess what? When we turn this page and this narrative, it doesn't mean that I'm saying, okay, let's go and live in a forest with no money and we will just make our own food. No, I'm just saying, when you don't focus on making the money as it is, but to see the money to be, as you said, an instrument, to be the result of your passionate work, also the money might come easily. Then
Absolutely.
struggle for the money. The moment you struggle for something, it doesn't come easy.
Right.
And this is saying in the more spiritual part of myself, because I said I live in Mexico, but I didn't say that I'm very drowned before living there in the Mayan culture.
Oh,
So
that's lovely.
yes. When and I will just make a small break, like before taking the discussion forward of how can we change our narrative. I
Mhm.
would just say a small story. Okay, the last time I was in Mexico, I wanted to, and we are living in Ciudad de Mexico, and then my boyfriend is in the Aztec part of the culture in Mexico.
Oh,
But I wanted to see the southern part, the Yucatan Peninsula, where are the Mayas. And when I got there to Chichen Itza, which is their place of temples and so on, I was feeling like I was going home. I was very happy I will see my ancestors, my grandparents, and people was like, "Have you ever been here?" No, I haven't. But this is how, and yes, I'm very drawn and I'm trying to learn from their wisdom, because apparently I had something to do with that for sure in another lifetime. So if we understand that money is only a tool and not our final goal, we will we will understand and we will feel a bit different. But I said it's not easy to do that.
mhm.
There are instruments to do that, to change our money beliefs and to transform actually our program and our identity, because when we start to transform and our narrative and to rewrite our program, we will transform part of our identity. And when we start working on that, we need to be sure that we can deal with our new identity.
Right, right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's a warning. Don't start working on that if you're not willing actually to live with your new identity.
Yeah, because it's a process. And like you were saying, it's not linear. It's not something that happens overnight. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not something that once it's better, it permanently stays better. Like it has a natural ebb and flow of us feeling better and doing better. And then, we all have a bad day and we feel like we've fallen behind. But it's just that that's the natural process of being human. Like things get better, we have a couple bad days, and then things will get better again. So hopefully no one's too hard on themselves because that is just the natural process of evolution and things do improving over time at large.
We are putting pressure on ourselves. We need to understand that, but
Mhm.
um, we need to understand as well that we can do different, to
Yeah,
be kind to ourselves.
right,
But
exactly.
in order to be kind to ourselves, to start this process of changing, and I use it either more in therapy, we can put ourselves a question when things happen. To put a question like, whose voice is this? Of my ancestors, my family, my church, like my
Mhm.
religious beliefs, my culture, my trauma, where this
Right.
voice comes from. This is like the starting point to understand, like I said, to understand where it comes from, and then we can decodify the meaning. And I would like very shortly, because I wrote down some, let's call them mantras, more or less, but we can change this. Every person that is following your podcast can write her own new beliefs, right? But I will give some
Absolutely.
examples. For the examples that we gave, I will give how we can some examples of how we can rewrite the narrative, because we are talking about narrative.
That'd be great.
So, in the Romanian limited beliefs, we said like this. Two of them I put it right. Money only comes with hard work or hard struggle, and asking for money is shameful. This is what we analyzed. How we can reframe this is like this. What if is not a sign of laziness, but a sign of alignment? What if it's a sign of hard work, not of hard work, but of smart work? It's not less worth, it's just smartness. So
Absolutely.
we can tell this to ourselves. We can transform them into mantras if we want, because this kind of ideas separate value from sacrifice. We don't see them it as a sacrifice. We start being better paid, but we can still be kind. Kindness does not anything to do with being less paid. We can
Mhm.
gain a lot of money and still be kind. And from here, you can, as I said, transform them into mantras. And I will give you a few examples if they will write them down, your audience, but they create their own. And if they share that own mantras in your comments, would be amazing, because I'm teaching and I'm learning in the same time. But some of them can be like this: I am allowed to earn with ease and integrity. It's one of them. This is how I thought about it. I work smart, not just hard. My value is not tied to exhaustion.
Ooh.
I can charge for my gifts and still serve with love. For these people that work in domains more about serving others, even with therapy or I don't know, even in an NGO, you need to gain money. This doesn't mean that your help is less worthy. So this is
Yes.
why I put this too. If I would translate this in the brand strategy for somebody who wants to build his reputational image, this actually shifts the language from being apologetic to being assertive. Okay, I can do that. I can earn money, but still help others. And then your price will not feel like um, a shame of request that you have, right?
Mhm.
So this is how you can shift. It doesn't mean that you have to tell your mind many times this, but at least it's a start, okay?
Mhm.
In the Latin American culture, as we said, they have this money said unspiritual or in a secondary place. And we said money is not spiritual, being ambitious is selfish. And they have another one, which is primero Dios. It means God first, which is an amazing, actually, reminder of your faith, but it has nothing to do to put God. If you gain money, doesn't mean that you don't put God first.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So this is the idea. Reframing it, it will gain like this. It will remind you that abundance is not betrayal, because we said abundance can be seen as betrayal, and spiritual and wealth are not mutually exclusive. They can go very well together. Some mantras that I wrote are like this: my dreams are sacred. They come from love. Money can be a tool for healing and generosity as well. When I thrive, I create space for others to thrive too. Or my abundance honors God, my ancestors, and my purpose. So the same words, but with different meaning and different belief that we will tell our mind. So in branding, in communication, this will create actually a shift from humility to humbleness. Humble does not mean humility. You can still keep your humbleness and radiate. You don't need to be humiliated because you gain money. So this is how the shift can happen. And in the last part of the cultures that we analyze, the Western cultures, we said like this: you are what you achieve. If you are not productive, you are not valuable, and so on and so forth. But in this area, when we reframe, we recodify our pattern, we actually rewrite our identity. Right? But we need to deconstruct the first identity to construct another identity. That means to be worthy, even if we are not that performant, even if we have a break or a vacation. We can ask who is in this kind of mentality, can ask himself, who are we when we are not doing anything? Doing like producing anything, right?
Right.
Are we still lovable? Are we still enough? And why? And put a list with what means this. Some mantras that I wrote are like this, if you want to use them. I am enough, even if I'm resting. Yeah, even if I'm not doing anything. My worth is not measured by my output. Slowness is not failure. Maybe it's wisdom sometimes. I exist beyond performance because I am a whole. And again, you can write any other that connect with you, but rewrite this program. So this is some short ideas of how can we reframe. I also have some few tips if you allow the time. If not, we will just send them via energy.
Yeah, please. We absolutely have time. But I do just want to really emphasize for the listeners just how
Please.
powerful that was, how incredible and lovely those mantras are. So I would encourage all the listeners to go back and listen to those again. And please do this exercise of writing down your own personal mantra and putting it up somewhere, putting it on the lock screen of your phone, putting it up on a mirror that you look into every morning, because that is a very powerful, very beneficial exercise. So thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, let's hear some more tips because this is
Yeah, I wrote
incredible.
down 5 tips.
Yeah.
And hopefully an exercise that we can do together, like a guided reflection. It's not a
Mhm.
meditation, it's just a reflection, but we can do that together. So the tips are like this. First, try to audit your money habits, because to understand how and what to change, you need to understand the habits, right? But without shame, without judgment. You don't do this with judgment. You do this because you want to change. How can you do that? By looking how you earn your money now, how you spend them, and how you avoid the idea of money. Again, not to judge yourself, but to understand your patterns. The tip could be like this. It's one of them. You can choose another one, but this is what I thought about. Look in your last bank statement and circle there every transaction you had that you did or where you said yes only out of fear, out of guilt. Do that, and then put yourself this question: what belief did I had at that moment when I accepted, I don't know, that payment? So this is the part of doing your audit. It's an audit. The second tip is like design your own money moment. I called it like that. What that means is that let's create each of us a conscious ritual that can change the way our nervous system relates to money. Because I said memory, we have the memory of money also from inherited, and this goes to the nervous system. So we can play a bit with the nervous system. That means the nervous system calms down when we breathe deeply, inhale and exhale. So whenever you want to go to your bank account and you need to pay a lot of bills, just breathe before. The world will not change and will not end if you don't pay today. Because I know people that if they don't pay their debts, like at the day of the payment, they go crazy. No, the world will still go round and round. So that's fine. So take a deep breath before, because you relax your body. And if it's something that you need to resolve, you will resolve them from a frequency of calm, and you will have more ideas. Or also, you can write in your planner, not the KPI or only the KPI or the obligation of payment. Write your desired income, not in the company way of, okay, I need to gain this much money because I'm in the sales. No, just put it there, put it in the universe. My desired income for this month is this, right? Because I need to live in fully comfort with myself. The goal actually for this is to create neutrality and presence about the money, not only panic around the money routine. So you can change a bit the routines about the money. The third one, this is hard because it's like this: schedule joy, not just work. And this is especially for the cultures where overperforming or overproving means worth. So more for you, for me, whatever. For us. This can be translated actually, and joy can also be productive. And the rest is strategic. Yeah, having rest is also strategic. And in three seconds, I will tell you, I felt every time, because I have this naturally, I need to rest more than other people. This is how I'm built energetically. And I didn't understand that. I discovered human design. I don't know if you know about human design. It's very close to astrology, actually, because it's mapping your energy body and the way you understand yourself and the world through your energy. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that my energy type, it's like working in spikes of energy. And I felt every time guilty when I needed to rest more than others. And felt guilty for many years until I got this mapping of mine. And I understood that this is how I'm built. Because actually my work was done in time. maybe earlier than others, better than others, but still I was feeling guilty that I was not working the same amount of time like others.
Mm,
And when I understood that this is how I'm built and I do complete my deadlines, but I need less time because I have spike of this energy, then I felt easier. And then I do schedule this joy because this is I'm saying
yeah.
this exercise here
Yeah.
because this is how I'm built. Others are built with their energy of working uh, all the time or with the same amount of energy for longer time. That's
Hmm.
perfect too, but you need to understand how you are.
Hmm.
Nevertheless, you have to schedule this joy. What does that mean? It means that let's block like 30 minutes per week. It's not much, right? 30 minutes per week. I'm not saying per day. To do nothing or to call it monetized joy. You don't need to gain money for this joy.
Hmm.
What's that joy? I don't know. Watching a series, playing some football, it doesn't matter. It's your joy. You put it there. You don't gain money for that. The purpose is like this. There is no purpose, not money purpose. It's just pleasure.
Hmm.
You need to rewrite this also that we deserve these moments of break. So this is the third one. The fourth one is like this. Try to do one bold money action per week or okay per month. I will ease it up per month. I don't know, if you're an entrepreneur, raise a bit your price and see what happens. Not much, a little, like insignificant for the other, and I will explain why. Or ask for your money back if you loan them and a friend or a client is not paying in time. Just have the guts to say, look, man, I need my money now. You're overdue with your payment. Just do it. Set some boundaries to people or to clients, to whatever that don't have these limits. They doesn't have to be huge steps, but they are actually very important steps because your mind, your nervous systems understand that, oh, okay, I can do that. That was not that hard. And I did it and I survived. So little by little, the mind will dictate you, okay, let's do another one because I survived. And then he will survive again and said, oh, okay, we can do. And this is how we can bit by bit rewrite our also our nervous system. So it is an important one. And the last one, but not the least, it's stop actually outsourcing your worth through your culture. I know it's hard. Actually, this is the hardest one to do because it's imprinted in our DNA, cultural DNA. But it's not undoable. We can do that. Because whenever we learn that money must be hard earned, as we said, or they are not spiritual, or they define us, it's not actually our truth. It's not our truth. We were taught this truth. So we can change our belief and rewrite this every time, every month, or use the mantras that we've learned before. Write in a journal, create a journal with this kind of mantras, and put others like easy is accepted, abundance is aligned with my values. Write your mantras. You don't have to have one mantra. You
Hmm.
can rewrite all this kind of let's do different. Every time you have in your mind an old belief that was inherited from your culture, write a mantra for it, a better one, a positive one about that money. Make a list, that and that. And little by little, the brain will understand actually that it can live also with the good, not only with the bad. So these are the tips that I thought about. Hopefully, they are they are enough.
Those are incredibly helpful. So, yeah, absolutely. I really hope that the listeners can take those to heart and implement them in their own lives that fit their personal situation, their cultural situations to help them overcome any obstacles that they may or may not have even been aware could be in their way of helping them do better. So, thank you so much for putting those together and sharing them with us.
With great pleasure, with great pleasure. And if you want, we can try to do this guided reflection together. I will guide it. So well, if you allow me, I will just transform it in a bit of a guided meditation, but it's actually a guided reflection.
Okay,
So
lovely.
for all the people that are listening now, I would like them to find a quiet place in their living room, in their bedroom. It doesn't matter. It needs to be quiet and far away from the routine that they have. Okay? It's safe to do that. We are okay. We are in a safe place because we need to relax a bit to let our mind create our new destiny about regarding the money, only the money now, today. Next time, another thing. So let's sit. I don't know, you can stand, you can sit down, you can lay down, the way you feel comfortable. Let's take a deep breath, not only once, like inhale, keep the air there, and then exhale. And do that in your rhythm at least 3 more times. Every time, the body will relax more, the mind will relax more. You can also put your hand on your chest, on your heart energy, or below your belly, where is the energy of fear, because we need to release this. So relax. Now, when you are relaxed, let's close our eyes and just imagine and project ourselves 5 years from now into the future. You are living in the flow. Just be there. Imagine yourself in that flow. And in this new reality that you are imagining, money is no longer loaded with shame or fear or performance or hard work. You already resolved this issue. You worked already smart. You didn't work hard anymore. You feel free. You are now connected actually with your spirit. You are aligned with your body. And you are indeed generous with others without feeling guilty. Imagine exactly, see exactly where you are. How does the place look like? Is there day, night, the sun, the moon, everything that you can imagine in this new reality? Take a moment to see this. It's no rush. You have time. Then ask yourself, what decision made me to get here? What were the decisions that I took in the past to get me here in this future, in this present future, where my money problems are solved? What other decision can I make to keep this new presence in my life? And think also about and feel it. How does abundance feel in your body? Where do you feel it? In your mind, in your heart? Where does it feel it? And how do you feel it? Find that sensation because it's important. It's important. Either is a warmth in your chest, an openness in the shoulders, grounding in the feet. Just breathe into it. Believe that it's true and that it's now, not later, not in a future moment. It's now. This future, you are bringing it in your present, in your now moment. Because actually, where we place our focus and just focus there where your problems are solved about the money, where we place our energy, or where we place our focus, our energy flows. And wherever our energy flows, actually our actions follow, consciously or not. And when our actions follow, our body will live the new present. You can do this, repeat the questions until you actually visceral feel them. And then when you feel ready and you have all the answers, just relax, open your eyes, feel your body again in the present moment, in the couch or in the armchair or wherever you were, and feel your body again present. This was the guided reflection. They can do that alone. They don't need to be guided by my voice, because if you want, we can record this like flawlessly with the music, and I will send that to you. Maybe you send it as a gift from us to the people. But why I try to make this reflection exercise is to understand that this overspoken manifestation that everybody is telling about, that doesn't mean that we are waiting from the universe just to hand us something for free. We need to be anchored our future in this present. And exactly as I said, we put our focus, the energy comes, the energy follows, and then actually, consciously or not, our actions will guide us to where we towards where we believe that we already have the present. So this is why it's very important to understand the manifestation. It's not something free. We need to work on it. And now nobody gives us something for free, as I said, the universe or anybody else. Actually, our actions will get us there. So this was it. I hope you resonated, and your followers as well. And if they want to explore more this version about money or other limited belief that they have, they can reach out. They can write to me. I can just answer to their messages.
Of course. Yeah. How
Let's
can people
connect.
reach you if they
Yes.
would like to work with you? Please go ahead and share your business.
Yes, I would. I don't know if it's easier for me to. They will find me either on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, even though they were in this part of the country, in the world. Yes, we are still using that. They will find me with Alina Stoian. No, that's easy. I'm there with my name, because as I'm teaching others, I switched from my business, which was called Just Add, and it still exists, but I transform it only in an instrument of invoicing, because the power of a word is my own example, and I'm Alina Stoian, so this is um, my personal brand. Therefore, they will find me by my name, because it's even easier. So this is why I actually recommend them to switch their business brand to personal brand, because they can actually endorse more easily.
Right.
They can reach out to me in any of these platforms, also in Threads lately.
Yes.
But that is connected actually with the Instagram, so they will message me there. So yes, if they feel lost in whatever we talked here and they need guidance, they are expats and they are still in between cultures and don't know how to handle that, I'm here for them to support.
This has all been very lovely. It's
Thank
incredible
you.
what you've shared today. There's so many amazing techniques and words of wisdom, and I hope that a lot of the listeners get something out of it. Because again, the mantras, the meditation, everything was just incredible. So it was lovely and very generous of you to share all of that with us
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you very, very much.
I thank you. And anytime you need to reach out with any subjects that are in my expertise, willing to share, because I said it's part of my mission to share everything that I've learned, because I'm not going anywhere with this, but they can be an imprint. So I'm here to have this legacy. So thank you
Absolutely.
for the
Thank you very
opportunity.
much. I want to thank you so much for joining me this week on Forecasting for Success, and let you know that you can read the transcript for each podcast episode on my website, which is linked below in the show notes. I've also included the link to send me your money questions if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast at forecastingforsuccess.com/podcast. And if you're ready to get started on improving your financial literacy and developing your own personalized money plan, I encourage you to join my Forecasting for Success community, where I teach you everything you need to know about budgeting, how to choose your retirement number, how to invest in the stock market, and so much more. I go live in the community each month to check in on your progress and help answer any questions you may have. And it's a supportive community where you can also check in with other members and learn from their experiences as well. I hope you take good care of yourself, and I'll talk to you next week.